there has to be an element of video, in my opinion. I think hands down the best way to launch is either with a 4-part video series and webinar combination, or just with live webinars.
Next, we have Jacqueline again. She says, another question is about launching 1 time per year or 2, 3, 4 times. How can I create or think about the best strategy for launching? Then, should I create a different strategy for membership programs or online courses? Thank you.
In terms of frequency with your launches, I would apply the law of diminishing returns, right? So I would look at your benchmark data and see if you launch 4 times, with every launch, do you get less and less signups? Or is it the other way around, right? Maybe the first time you launch it, people aren't necessarily ready to buy, and so they're excited and you have success, but you see and notice that people who didn't buy the first launch buy the second launch, and so on and so forth. I think once a quarter is brutal for launches, but that's coming from someone that hates launches. So if this is working for you really well, I would keep it at the frequency that is already working for you. It sounds like it's working for you. And sometimes it's really necessary to launch an offer that frequently. I have to push myself next year a lot more and have legit launches that are more public than they are now. But that's something to think about too. And then in terms of what's the best strategy for launching, girlfriend, we could sit and talk for 10 hours about this. But in summary, I think that it depends on the price point. Every single offer has a different price point attached to it and a different objective when you're launching, right? The objective here is to present the offer and to build a relationship. When you're selling something that's $5,000 or $10,000, you're going to need a little bit of a different strategy than if you're selling something that's $99. And it looks like your lower end offers are already evergreen, which is what they should be. Now, with launches, you just can't go wrong with webinars, in my opinion. I think that's what sells the best, and you can create a variety of them if you're thinking about maybe doing a combo where you do a 4-part video series and then also have maybe 2 live webinars. That's a winning strategy, but there has to be an element of video, in my opinion. I think hands down the best way to launch is either with a 4-part video series and webinar combination, or just with live webinars. There's other kind of, little iterations that you can make, but I think that is the norm and one of the best ways that you can kind of get something off the ground. Challenges are also super hot, but it depends again on the price point. I think challenges are amazing when you're in between the $500 to $1,000 price point. Above that, it's a little bit trickier. And then I've seen a really interesting model pop up too, where you have a high-end membership and you upsell or launch a high-end workshop. So we're talking about memberships that are about $10,000 to $17,000 a year, maybe $10,000 to $20,000 a year. And then there is a workshop upsell of $3,500. So that is another internal type of launch that you can do. So it just depends on who you are, what you like, and then also what you're already doing. I think there isn't a best launch strategy when it comes to different offers. There is a best launch strategy for your people and also a best launch strategy for the price point. That's really the best way of going about it. Has to be a live video component or a video component of it in my experience. And then you also want to just experiment with something a little bit new as you tweak and refine launches. Keep in mind, that's how you're going to get better. It's not flipping the script on everything every single quarter. It's refining your messaging, looking at your data, finding ways that your message is or is not resonating, expanding your audience types, and then really looking at it from a psychological perspective. Are my emails on point? Do I have my copy dialed in? Can I add an upsell or a downsell? Is this the best model for, managing my energy? All of that is super important because launches are definitely brutal. And then you asked if, this is a different question. Should I create a different strategy for a membership program or online courses? Yes, I think so. I think that memberships are harder to sell with launches for sure. It depends on the price point of the membership too. But in my experience, I think that going through a membership program would be really helpful in terms of launches. If you do it once a year, it doesn't have to be like something crazy. And the rest of the time, a membership should be sort of a continuity program if you already have standalone courses. So the membership aspect should be a trickle down from the people that you bring in the introductory courses or the high-end courses or group coaching. It just depends on how you've set up your value ladder. But those people should be trickling into your membership from other courses that they've purchased from you, ideally. And then in terms of specific strategies with memberships, you got to go hard on the value and you have to show people what it's like to be in your membership. It's totally different than selling a one-off program where they have access and maybe they access it for a year or a lifetime. They don't need the live element of community and accountability and things like doing these coaching calls where they get hands-on help. So that's really where I would be. I would love for you to follow up on the membership here in the Facebook group or in the forum, because there's so many details that I don't know about your specific membership, the price point, what you offer, all that stuff, and how it compares to your other offers. But that would be my best answer to that question with the information I have right now.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I think there's one thing that I want to highlight is that from everything that I've heard and everything that I've been going through and studying and learning is the video component. So I was going to mention the 4-part video series aspect because that seems to be something that, not I wouldn't say trendy, but something that I think we're seeing more of with launches. And yeah, I don't know what's going on, guys. Sorry, I don't know if it's my stream or what, but I noticed that I'm really pixelated. I'm sorry. I keep trying to have it refocused, but I think it's more of my internet connection than it is my camera. But anyways, so video for one, but also the 4-part video series. Look at Marie. That's what she does with B School, 4-part video series. The Same Cart guys just did it. They did a 4-part video series. So definitely something to consider. Yeah. If that format feels better for you, or if you feel like you want to explore that. But I agree with Kim 100% from what I've studied and what I've read, not so much necessarily what I've done. That's something I'm working on right now myself. But absolutely video, getting in front of people is the way to do it.